All right.
Good morning. This is Lynn Johnson with Spotlight Girls. I am the co-founder and CEO, and I am here today talking with Irene Zande of Kidpower Teenpower Fullpower International, the founder and executive director. And I am just so excited for this conversation. Irene, thank you so much for being with me today. And I'm especially excited because we have September is a very, very important month for both of our organizations. It is International Child Protection Month. And we're going to talk all about that in just a second. And we at Spotlight Girls are producing an event called Telling, a celebration of girlhood on September 25th in Berkeley. And this is our contribution to Child Protection Month, where we are kind of bringing the stories of girls center stage through real people who are telling real stories in celebration of girlhood. And we couldn't have done this, we couldn't do anything that we do without Kidpower. They're a really important partner of ours. And they have been, and you have been for years, right? Many years. Kidpower's people safety skills are central into our programming at our Go Girls camps and programs. And so I love every opportunity to talk to you, Irene. So yeah, I just want to tell you, Irene, the other day I was picking up my daughter from school and I heard someone call me from behind, Lynn. And I turned around and it was a mama who sent her daughter to Go Girls Camp. And she stopped me on the street to tell me how she loved the camp so much, and I love that. But she really got into how important the skills were that she learned there. And she specifically started naming Kidpower skills that her daughter was really implementing in her real life. She was saying, Mom, she was saying that her daughter was kind of making sure that she got her attention. She was saying, Mom, please, this is important. I need you to pay attention to me. She was saying, this is what I want and don't want. She's getting really clear about setting her boundaries. And so these are the things that are just so essential for our Go Girls to be learning. And we hear it all the time, how effective these skills are for our girls. So yay, thanks. Yay. Why do you do this? Why did you start Kidpower in the first place, and why is it so important to you?
I am so glad you asked that question, Lynn, because I'm thinking about your amazing event coming up and the power of stories, and stories that change our lives, stories that move us, inspire us, and help us to grow and to add meaning to everything we do. The reason I do this work is because in 1985, when my daughter was 7 and my son was 4, I took a group of girls plus my young son on a field trip to downtown Santa Cruz. And we were at the City Art Museum, and on the way down, it was an ordinary day full of ordinary magic. Like if one kid's thirsty, they all want to use the drinking fountain. But a man started following us when we got back out on the street, saying that I had all the cute little girls and he didn't have anybody. And I said to the kids, if you're scared, hang on to me. And then they all clutched onto me. I crossed the street like an octopus with 8 little hands hanging onto me. And I said, it's fine. I'm used to people with problems. And it's okay, he's just got problems. But then we got into the lobby of the Metro Center. And in that crowded room full of people, the girls said, here he comes again. And this time, this man was charging towards us with his arms stretched out, shouting, I'm going to take one of these girls. It was a classic case of the bystander effect, because everybody froze except for me. And I did what I'm sure you would do, which is I got in between the man and the kids, and I got in his face and I started yelling. And I finally ordered a bystander to help. I just said, come and help me. Can't you see these girls are scared? And when he came over, then the guy bothering us ran away. Now the girls were fine. What they saw is that I yelled and the bad guy ran. But I wasn't fine. I kept thinking, what if he knocked me down? What if he'd even tried to touch one of those girls? And I knew I'd do my best to stop him, but I didn't know how. So I took a self-defense class of the kind we still teach with a head-to-toe padded instructor and, you know, the dramatic end of our work, as it were. And I learned how to really hit and really kick. But in the process, I kept meeting adults who would say things, tell me stories that started with the words, if only. If only, after my youth group leader dropped everybody else off and not me, and touched me in a way that my mom and dad told me never to let someone touch me. If only I had known the words to stop him. If only I'd known how to tell my grown-ups what happened, my life would have been so different. And then there was a series of abductions in the Bay Area, and I would see these anguished faces of parents with saying, but I told her and I told her and I told her not to go near a stranger when she was out on her own, but somebody took her bicycle and she followed her bicycle and now she's gone. And I just, yeah, I know. And I looked at those 15 girls in my Girl Scout troop, and I thought 1 in 3 girls assaulted before they're 18 years old. And that's 5 of them. Now, which 5 girls is it okay for me that this happens to? Well, the answer was none of them, as you can imagine.
Exactly.
So I gathered with lots and lots of wonderful people, parents, martial artists, law enforcement people, healthcare people, child advocates of every kind. And we started to look at programs and how could we, empower kids without scaring them. We don't want to teach a worldview that says, I don't like it that the word stranger rhymes with stranger. Because most people are good and most strangers are good. But if somebody, which you don't need to worry, you just need to know what to do. You need to know how to take charge of your safety.
Yeah.
So that was what we were looking for empowerment. And with the help of lots of people, we founded as a nonprofit in 1989. And we've been doing this work ever since.
Wow, gosh. I've heard that story before, Irene, but there's something about it. Maybe because we're in Child Protection Month, I'm hearing it in a much deeper way today. It's really moving me. And that piece where, I wrote it down, how do we empower kids without scaring them? I think that's really the magic of Kidpower. I know that in the event that we're producing, we really want, I'm telling my storytellers I want them to tell stories that are celebrations of girlhood. It's, not like, there could be definitely, all good stories have a challenge, have a problem, but I want the stories to be about, moving through, not staying in the victim place. And I just love that so much about Kidpower, that it's like, here we all are. It's so compassionate what Kidpower is. It's like, here we are. Most people are good. Sometimes people make choices that are unsafe to me, and I need to know what to do about that. And that's just, I just love Kidpower.
You too. I was moved to tears in the Go Girls Camp performance that I went to, just moved to tears, seeing these girls that, because talk about stories, you create stories in your camps. And in the book starring Celia, you create stories that do empower and that move through hard things. And, the one that I went to, it was about corporations and, that you had to buy a lot of makeup that wasn't good for you to be beautiful. And all these girls going, I said, stop. I'll never forget it. It was fantastic.
I am, you now, from that time when you started and then, founding in 1989, you have basically taken over the world. How many countries are you in now, Kidpower?
Well, people use Kidpower Skills on our, from our website and our educational resources on every continent of the world except Antarctica.
Wow.
In every country, we have people who subscribe to our newsletter, who use our skills, use our programs. We have active instructors that have taught classes in about 60 different countries. And then we have centers in a smaller number of countries and states, but often people travel and go to other places. And but we've reached through all of these in our partnerships, we've reached over 4 million children, teens, and adults, including people with special needs. And it's been a joy. We've gathered a really wonderful community of people around our work. And then even, but I just got something from Jordan where he says, what do I do? I'm in a boarding school. I'm a teacher in a boarding school. Kids are being abused and bullied. What do I do? And we're able to send them help right there. And we even had somebody that translated some of our materials into Arabic so we could send him our 30 skills booklet in Arabic. Imagine that.
So when did you conceive of International Child Protection Month? It was relatively recently in your history, right? How did that come about?
Well, what happened was that it was our 25th anniversary a couple years ago. And I thought, I totally feel good about contributing things to Child Abuse Prevention Month, Bullying Prevention Month, all the prevention months. But I want a month we're for. And we are for, adult leadership in keeping kids safe. That's what we're for. I mean, kid leadership too, but adult leadership. Because we're the ones who have the power until they have the power to develop, to take charge of their own safety, we're in charge. So we made it for International Child Protection Month. And we joined with partner organizations, including Spotlight Girls and Go Girls. But a large number of other organizations, and are adding more all the time, where we're making a big online initiative to really focus on the role of adult leadership and what can we do today, this minute, as adults, to keep the kids that are in our lives safe. And to protect, and to protect them from harm, bullying, violence, abuse, but also other kinds of harm, and also to empower them to have the skills and knowledge they need to take charge of their own emotional and physical safety and their well-being. So that's what the month's about.
And what are you asking people to do this month? So you're for adult leadership. So how do adults show up?
Okay, well, one of the most important things we can do, it starts with kids need to know we care. And you think that's so obvious, but the reality is, I would go into schools and we teach kids to get help. We teach them to be very persistent in getting help, just like in the story you shared about, look at me, this is important, I need your attention. But we also teach them to persist in the face of busy, impatient adults who get annoyed and don't understand at first, because we know that that's reality.
Reality.
Sometimes when we're in classrooms, I would turn to teachers and I have the kids come up with lots of who could they go to for help. And then I turn to the teachers and I'd say to them, is there anything if a kid comes to you for help, will you help them? And of course, teachers turn towards their students with their hearts open and they say, of course I will. You can tell me anything and I will help you. So out of that, we started realizing that just like even as adults, we need reminders. Safety is not a one-time lesson or conversation. It's an ongoing conversation and practice that we need to make the space for what we're now calling the Kidpower Protection Promise.
Mm.
And we started to realize that this promise wasn't just for kids, but for adults with each other, because we need and deserve support and help too. And of course, our organization doesn't only work with kids, we work with grown-ups too.
Mm.
And so we are asking that people make the Kidpower Protection Promise to everyone important in their lives, especially the young people in their lives. And it goes like this: you are very important to me. And I'm saying this to you right now, Lynn, and to anybody watching this video.
I'm taking it in, yes. Okay.
You are very important to me. And if you have a safety problem, I want to know. Even if I seem too busy, even if someone we care about will be upset, even if you made a mistake, even if you promise not to tell, even if it's embarrassing, please tell me, and I will do everything in my power to help you.
Mm. Oh gosh, just imagine for a moment if everybody, especially every child, really heard that and took that in, how different things would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many children out there who not only have they never heard an adult say that to them, but they don't necessarily have an adult who would say that to them or who would even be holding that sentiment. And that's just heartbreaking. And the fact that we can, with a simple promise, like it's, how long did that take you to say? 10 seconds?
Not much.
15 seconds to be able to like really say that and then work to mean it. So we say it, and then what? Like, how do we then kind of create a culture in our homes, in our schools, where we can kind of live that promise? What are some ways?
Right? So the first job is to tell kids, and the next job is to show them.
Yeah.
And so to keep the promise, we've actually got 7 strategies for keeping this promise. The first one is to put safety first. And because, that means putting safety ahead of uncomfortable feelings or being afraid of uncomfortable feelings, putting safety ahead of winning, putting safety ahead of fame and fortune, and even ahead of your kids being mad at you. It means we put their safety first. And Ellen Bass, who's our founding board president, and she's also the co-author of The Courage to Heal and another wonderful book called Free Your Mind, which is for gay, lesbian, bisexual, and plus youth and their allies. And she's the founding board president, and her daughter Sarah was in that group of kids that I told the story about. And Ellen, as we were starting Kidpower, we were signing our incorporation papers at the bank, and she said, "What we're saying here is revolutionary.
Yeah.
We're saying that the safety and well-being of a child are more important than anyone's embarrassment, inconvenience, or offense." And I said, "Could you say that again?"
I have to write that down.
Underlying principle.
Yes, child safety is more important than anyone's embarrassment, inconvenience, or offense. And that's huge. Most people do not roll that way, right? But when you think about it, when you really take that in, of course that should be number one. Yeah. Okay, so putting safety first.
Putting safety first.
Uh-huh.
Putting your radar on so you know what's going on with your kids. That means we need to take responsibility for who is with our kids and what they're doing. we need to, when people say, well, things happened at school, but I couldn't do anything about it, we want people to feel empowered to know what to do about it. If a child's being bullied, for example,
Yeah.
or if a teacher is being unkind or disrespectful to a child. So we take responsibility for the environments they're in, and that means we need to be welcome in those environments. It means we need to speak up when we have concerns, and because that's part of keeping our radar on, and also of showing them that we mean what we're saying.
Yeah.
We need to teach kids not to keep unsafe secrets.
Yeah.
Secrets about problems, any kind of touch, presents that somebody else gives them. You can have a surprise where everybody knows about it and you're giving a present to somebody else, but a present they receive should not be a secret. Favors, activities, friendships should all not be secret. And we need to be comfortable. We need to make it comfortable for them to come and talk with us.
Yes. That's with my daughter, I am lucky in that she's naturally kind of a broadcaster. She's like one of those people who likes to tell kind of everything that she's doing and everything she's about. And sometimes you're kind of like, okay, I don't need to know everything that you're doing. But I remember I do celebrate when she does tell me all those things, because I want to keep that line of communication open. And it's really important when she does tell you something where she has made a mistake, that you say, first thing you say is, thank you for telling me.
Exactly.
And then, and because sometimes she'll tell you something where you're like, oh, you did what with what kid, when, and you want to kind of, as a parent, you want to jump to kind of punishing or whatever. And you have to stop and say, thank you for telling me. You can always tell me anything. Right. And then you kind of go on from there. Yeah.
That's exactly right. You've got to, and they've got to feel safe about the little things, and then that will help them feel safe about the bigger things.
Yeah.
And not lecturing, and it's hard, not scolding, but not making fun of kids, because sometimes the things they say are really funny.
Yeah. Often. Yes.
Being there as you are, you're so compassionate and wonderful and a lovely mother, and then and then it is, again, to make sure that, not in addition to the promise, to make sure they know we care by not expecting them to be perfect or ourselves to be perfect, by accepting their right to be different, their own unique selves. They'll have different ways of being in the world, different dreams, different visions, by apologizing when we are unkind to them. That's showing them we care. Yeah. By listening with a great deal, paying real attention when they come up, talk to you about a problem, or especially if they feel uncomfortable with someone or going someplace. Often just listening compassionately is enough, but sometimes you'll find out information that you realize there's a potential problem that you may need to advocate for your child about. And so really, really that just showing them in all ways, I care about you, you're important to me, just the way you are. Yeah. I think one of the most important messages we can give kids and ourselves is mistakes are part of learning, and you don't have to be perfect to be great.
Yes. Yeah, you see that you might see the poster behind me. That's part of our Go Girls culture code.
Yes,
being good means I make mistakes. I'm not perfect.
Right.
And I get that I get to grow and change and like get in. Yeah.
That's right. I love your tower of oops. Go girls. And then it is to teach kids skills. The skills like staying aware, which just means, we'll just practice this one. Close your body down. Just go ahead and close your body down. It could be texting. You could be worrying, sad, scared. And when you're like this, people are more likely to bother you and less likely to listen to you. So you want to sit tall. Go ahead and sit tall. Okay. You want to glance around. Just in case somebody might be sneaking up on you.
I noticed my dog in the corner. I didn't know he was there before, so that was
good. You want to project an attitude of positive and respectful confidence. And you want to use your awareness to notice what is and is not safe. You want to know how to set boundaries, like, again, the mother told you in the story at the beginning of our talk. And you want to be able to say, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Stop.
You can say, stop, that's not safe. Go ahead.
Stop, that's not safe.
You want to be able to ask for help. Just go ahead and say, excuse me, I need your help. Go ahead.
Excuse me, I need your help.
And you need to be able to persist. So suppose I said, I'm too busy. Go solve it yourself. Say, please look at me. This is about my safety.
Please look at me. This is about my safety.
And then you give the kids a chance to deal with the problem so that they can practice persisting in setting boundaries. We go through a whole continuum of boundaries on touch and teasing. One of our most famous techniques, I can't show the classic Kidpower trash can, but here's a mini trash can. This is a trash can for throwing away hurting words. And you can use that one behind your back or whatever. And so you throw away hurtful words and you take in positive messages. And of course, we teach self-defense as a last resort. But positive messages are, I can give you one right now, which is, I'm telling you the truth, this is heart power. You put your hands on I guess I have to lower this a little bit to show. Put your hands on your heart like this, like you're doing, to use your heart to connect with other people, to protect your heart, and to put good things into your heart. So Lynn, you are an amazing advocate and creator of joyful experiences of safety and success for young people, especially girls. And it's an honor to work with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, and I can feel that resonating in my heart, especially when you put your hands there.
Yeah,
you have to say the words thank you, because it makes it all kind of resonate in there. That's so beautiful. Irene, this has been so amazing talking to you. My daughter, whom you know, is has had so much kid power now, and I can really see it working. She still has a long way to go. You're right. The skills, we have to keep practicing them. We have to keep persisting on their practice. As I see her and her dynamics in school, which are complex and very complicated socially, kid power is always what we go back to. So I'm you reminded me of these skills and reminding her about stop, and reminding her about the trash can, reminding her about, really like projecting that calm and confidence.
And walk away power. This is
walk away. That's so important for her and everybody. So how do other parents, other adults who want to really, step up and make this happen, how do we learn more? How do we keep in touch with you?
Well, you can, we have a huge free online library that people can sign up for membership in. And you can go to our website at kidpower.org, and there's access to hundreds of resources, books, how to organize workshops in places where we have instructors. So that's kidpower.org. And then our International Child Protection Month, our website is www.childprotectionmonth.org. Right. And at childprotectionmonth.org, we've got posters, we've got videos. We're inviting people to send us pictures or make videos of themselves of them giving the protection promise. And we will, if they send us something or send us a link where they've shared something, we'll upgrade their free community membership to a professional membership for a year. So.
Oh, great. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Even more. So.
And that gives you more access to more articles and resources.
more support, and also more permission to make copies of things, like a professional level of licensing if you have a youth group or a school, or even if just you want to share things in addition to using them for your personal use.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so then at the event, at our event on Telling on September 25th, we will have copies of the promise there, and we'll make it possible for people to take the promise. We'll put them on video, and we'll help them. We'll send that stuff to you so that we can get more folks involved.
Great, that's great. And they'll need to give us their email, and they can always email us at safety@kidpower.org.
Irene, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure. You are such an inspiration to me, and I think that the world's a better place because of you.
Well, right back at you, and thank you.